You ever want real peace and end up getting the opposite? Let me tell you how I learned that in Colorado, wanting quiet can land you right in the middle of a war suburban. Drone flying, lawsuit slinging, neighbor versus prepper kind of war, all because I built a bunker and wouldn't roll over for an HOA queen named Karen. Yeah, that happened, and trust me, it got wilder than you can imagine. When I bought those 6 acres, I was after silence, real, honest-to-God silence. The kind you feel in your bones, where the only thing louder than the wind is your own breath. Unincorporated land, out past the last mailbox, no neighbors for a half-mile in any direction. Just granite, sage, and old pines. No HOA. I'd spent most of my working life designing bunkers for other folks more worried about EMPs and the IRS, and I figured after all that, I'd earned the right to dig a hole in the earth and disappear if I wanted to. So I did it by the book: blueprints, permits, soil testing, even brought in a civil engineer to double-check my underground drainage. This wasn't some wild-eyed prepper fantasy. I was building a real fortress. 3-inch concrete walls, filtered air, solar battery system, enough beans and dry goods to wait out 6 winters or a minor apocalypse. Construction started in March, just me and a couple of guys who didn't ask questions. By April, the main shaft was open, rebar in, welders laying downstairs. That's when the buzzing started. At first, I thought it was a wasp. Turns out it was a drone. Glossy, black, buzzing low over my pit, then zipping back towards Silver Hollow, a gated community up the ridge where the lawns are as plastic as the smiles. Karen ran their HOA like she thought she was the mayor. I figured, okay, maybe some nosy neighbor, until it happened again. And again. Then one crashed in my field, and I took it apart. What do you know, an SD card full of video clips of my build. Even audio. 2 voices, a guy and a woman. Looks military. Who builds that out here? And there should be a rule against this. I shook my head, and next morning, there was a letter in my mailbox. No stump. Silver Hollow Homeowners Association, demanding I cease all subterranean construction activities visible from our boundary. My land was outside their jurisdiction, but that didn't stop Karen from signing it like it was a court order. Psychological disturbance, they called it. I laughed, tossed the letter in the fire pit, and went back to pouring concrete. Next week, another letter, this time citing emotional distress to the community, suggesting I meet their safety coordinators. Use that letter for kindling, too. But then came the SUV unmarked, shiny, some guy in sunglasses, parked just outside my fence for half an hour, then rolled off. So I doubled down. Trail cameras, motion sensors, cellular backups. Not paranoid, just prepared. 3 days after burning the last letter, I found a bright orange laminated notice zip-tied to my gate. Construction suspended pending HOA review. Non-compliance may result in civil penalties. They even had a subcommittee for this nonsense. I ripped it off, folded it, and shot off an email to the county. Their reply was blunt. No HOA has any authority out here. So I stapled that to my gate for good measure. That night, I checked the camera's 4 figures on the bluff, shining flashlights down at my site. Next morning, another envelope in the mailbox, just a single line: you should consider what this project is doing to the community. Yeah, thanks, neighbor. Then the press found me. Well, not the press, some woman with a mic and a camera guy in cargo shorts. Headline next morning: Apocalypse Prepper builds bunker near family neighborhood. Should parents be concerned? They even had a drone shot of my property. Karen, of course, in pearl earrings, giving a speech about neighborhood morale. After that, the drones came back 3 more. One hovered for an hour before I knocked it out of the sky with a sandbag and buried it in concrete. Fair's fair. The story went regional morning show anchors reading my name like I was a cartoon villain. Karen held a community awareness picnic. I saw the flyers of the grocery store. Time to talk about mental health, safety, and underground extremism. I just kept building. Secure entry, L-shaped corridor. Finished pouring the last retaining wall. Started tiling the first living quarters plane. Practical, nothing wild, but the HOA wasn't slowing down. One afternoon, I found a thick plastic folder shoved under my workshop door, a community safety assessment report from the Silver Hollow HOA. Fake diagrams, resident testimonies, even a chart claiming bunker construction made local kids' cortisol spike. Another page called my excavation a terrorist infrastructure. I laughed until the last page, demand for arbitration. If I didn't settle, they'd bring in mediators. That night, someone left a dead squirrel on my porch in a Ziploc bag, with a note, "We bury things here too." Classy. I filed a police report, just for the record. The deputy looked about 16 and kept asking if I was prepping for the end of days. No, I told him, just the end of the HOA. That's about when the black SUV rolled by again, this time slower, pausing at every fence post, every camera. I waved from the porch. No wave back. Then my old buddy Vince called retired Army signals guy. He'd traced the drone's transmitter to a private security firm out of Denver. Guess who their top client was? Silver Hollow HOA. They'd hired out surveillance. That's when I realized this wasn't just neighborhood drama, this was a full court press. Next week, I got my summons. Thick envelope, heavy government paper. District Court, Jefferson County. Silver Hollow HOA versus me. $1 million. Accusations, psychological distress, emotional comfort zoning violations, and preparation for violent or antisocial activity. They even claimed my bunker was a contamination risk. I called my lawyer, Ella. She laughed, said it was the most creative lawsuit she'd ever seen. If they can stretch HOA authority this far, nobody's safe, she said. We filed a response. Building permits, inspection approvals, environmental clearances, a notarized letter from the county engineer. Ella submitted it with a grin. But the lawsuit had done its job now. The media called me Bunker Man. Local news, headlines, Reddit threads, T-shirts with my face. Bunker down for freedom. Ella warned me, don't give them the soundbite they want. Document everything. So I did. Meanwhile, the build went on, support beams sealed, generator room finished. But even 10 feet underground, I couldn't escape the noise. Drones, news vans, even protesters. One morning, I found a microphone cable running through my fence. Eavesdropping. Final straw? A group of suburban zealots protesting on my driveway. Stop the bunker. No fear, neighbors. I stood at the gate, arms crossed, watching them chant about privacy while trespassing on mine. I called the sheriff. Free speech, long as they stay off your land. So I leaned over and told them, step past this line and I'll exercise something else. They left after sunset. But the legal melodrama kept churning every day, some new letter, new accusation. Then came the big guns, 4 black SUVs and a white van with government logos. ATF, County Environmental, some made-up infrastructure safety department. The whole parade. They showed me a warrant, cited an anonymous tip about explosives and code violations anonymous. Sure, probably sign K. Dallas. I let them in, recording everything. They sniffed, scanned, poked, prodded, found nothing but chili and a water filter. One of the inspectors muttered, cleaner than my office tap. They left empty-handed, but I knew this wasn't over. That night, I got a package flash drive, no label. On it, secret audio from inside an HOA board meeting. Karen's voice, sharp and clear. We'll drown him in paperwork and lawsuits until he folds. If that doesn't work, the recording cuts off, but the message is clear. Not everyone over there agrees with her, though I never did find out who sent the drive, but I knew someone in Silver Hollow had a conscience. I called Mark, another old friend, expert in all things digital and sneaky. Within a day, he found a zoning request buried in county records. Silver Hollow HOA had tried to get my land listed as community infrastructure on a secret development map. My 6 acres were marked for overflow parking and a fitness center. That was the whole game. Push me out, take the land, pave over my bunker. Mark tracked the whistleblower, a guy named Tom Gelzer, assistant board member. He sent internal emails showing Karen's real plan. Push hard enough, he'll sell. If not, legal attrition will do the rest. My lawyer, Ella, called it a coordinated land grab. We gathered every fingernails, fake zoning maps, drone logs, the whole messy paper trail. When court day came, I wore my best blazer, left the camo hat at home. Didn't want to feed their unstable prepper story. Across the aisle, Karen, blood-red pantsuit, two lawyers who looked expensive enough to buy their own county. The judge was all business, gave them their turn. Karen's lawyer went on about emotional distress, read anonymous testimonies, my daughter can't sleep, knowing there's a bunker nearby. It's like living next to a cult. They had simulations of kids playing in a park, my bunker's shadow looming like a monster. My turn. I handed over certified permits, engineers' letters, inspection video HD, time-stamped, with an ATF agent on camera saying nothing illegal or dangerous found here. Then the drone file serial numbers, purchase orders tying drones to Karen's cousin's business. Then the emails. The judge paused. Miss Dallas, is this your signature? Objection overruled. To top it off, my own psychological expert, Dr. Patel, explained there was no clinical basis for HOA's anxiety claims. The judge nodded, turned to Karen's table. So far, your argument rests on fear, not law. Karen looked like she'd swallowed a lemon. After a quick recess, the judge came back with a ruling plaintiff's case, not only lacking legal merit, but actively deceptive. Immediate dismissal. Civil proceedings authorized against Silver Hollow HOA and Karen Dallas for fraud, trespass, and harassment. They referred it to the state attorney's office. I walked out the courthouse, called my contractor, time to finish the greenhouse. A week later, news broke Karen arrested for fraud and conspiracy. Turns out, she'd forged signatures on rezoning attempts and used HOA fees for drone surveillance. The HOA board collapsed in days. Now, my bunker's more than a prepper's hideout, it's a community spot. I run workshops, property rights, digital privacy, survival skills. People show up from 3 counties, some with stories, some with cookies. And above the hatch, I hung a sign, private property, built to last, for the free and prepared. So, you tell me, was I wrong to fight back? Where's the line between safety and control? Drop your thoughts below, and if you got a wild HOA story, don't hold back. Let's hear it.